What is good, everybody? What's up, Tom? Cheers, y'all. Am I in the men's bathroom? Nope, just my apartment. just my apartment. This is my apartment in Cyprus. I know it's not as glam with all my books in the background and stuff. I know, but I do. My wife did get candlesticks, so now we have these. Cheers, Kern Sixt. It is a Sprite Zero. It is a Sprite Zero. Sprite Zero sugar. You notice how they don't say diet anymore? Only like Diet Coke says diet anymore. Maybe it's just not in the US. They just never said diet. They only said diet in the US or something. I don't know. Oh, you're very welcome, Douglas. Thank you for saying that, man. Happy to be here and yeah, go on this little earnings day adventure for you with you guys. The beach streams were cool. The beach streams were very tight. The Thailand beach streams were very nice. Much appreciated. Oh, nice! You got a Buck the Bunny GameStop tee. Very cool. I gotta get one. Anybody play that game? Anybody play the Buck the Bunny and the Curse cartridge? Two. Yes. I think that'd be pretty cool. 36 issue. Region says the power packs crush it. Region's thinking we get a 36-cent beat. I don't know, man. That could be. I think we're definitely getting a beat. But as far as how big of a beat that's going to be, I'm not sure. 50% beat puts us at what, 27? So that's not bad. We're gonna get another one. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think a little bit today about what might happen with the price action. I think basically a month ago. So, like, kind of looking at. Well, I mean, I talked about this in November when we were, just kind of going straight down for a while. Basically, my impression was if we look at some of our technicals, we can take a peek here. If we look at some of our technicals kind of farther out, if we go out to like the weekly, I was spending a lot of time looking at the weekly chart, in that kind of zone there. And if we look at stuff like PMO, right? Like, we've kind of got this PMO trend line going on here on the weekly. This uncross here was not great, right? We didn't cross back up here. What I think we probably have to see is, see this blue line come a bit farther down. Wait for this, right, to kind of coalesce maybe here. Right around the zero line. See this kind of maybe go up a little bit and then come back down and then, kind of run out of room. I kind of see one more kind of little hop, skip, jump. And what I'm looking at maybe for an upper bound here is, really if I see us kind of over, unless we get some really huge surprise on the weekly, I think as soon as we kind of move over that 25 mark, right, we move over that 50-week moving average, which has been our average, right? $25 is our average price for the year. That's essentially what that says. $25 is our average price for the year. If we move over that line, I think maybe they let us go a little bit above that, but I think that's gonna send something of a sell signal. If we go over to, I was looking at Roaring Kitty's PMO. It does look like we are going to get something of a right. We get a little bit of a cross. It does make me think, okay, we've got some juice in there going into earnings. The fact that we didn't, this was another thing I was thinking of kind of going into our pre-earnings price action, basically coming out of the bottom. And I said this to a few people. I said this in some of the videos too, that basically if we went to 25 prior to earnings, I would be a lot more bearish on what would happen on the other side of it. I'd be like, oh, they're probably gonna dump us. What I see with this, what I see with us having our price action basically stick in the 23s, despite the fact that we had that run up there to 24. I think what they want to have happen is basically a repeat of what we saw with the Trump Halo tweet thing, where earnings is going to come out good, reports going to come out good, it's going to be a great beat, one way or the other. I think they already know it's going to be a beat. Algos will price the stock up based on IV. They're just going to price it up based on what the IV projected move is, which is like $1.69 or something like that right now. Let me go over to options flow. Let's give a quick refresh. It's close to $2. So I mean that would more or less track towards kind of a move into the mid 25s from this point. Mid to lower kind of 25s. But it does leave it within range for them to kind of make sure that 25 stays out of there, stays out of the money by December OPEX. Although, I don't know, they might play December OPEX kind of long. They might let a little bullishness accumulate in the hopes of drawing in some excess buying for January. And then kind of crush January again like they do every year. This way, too, if they let it run basically into December OPEX a little bit, not crazy, but if they let it run up to like 26 or something like that, they can all sell stuff for 2027. If you notice too, they've got I was looking at this, it's peculiar to me, right? But they've got the options chain, they've got all of the quarterlies. So all of next year's quarterlies are open, not December, but then we've got January 2027. We have September 2027. This is very far out. We have September 2027, December 2027, and January 2027. And IV is actually pretty decent on those. For whatever reason, I don't know what's happening in September. Is it this one? Yeah, I don't know what's happening in September, but the IV in the September 2027s is close to 100%. Same thing with the 2028s. The IV is very high for these strikes. I don't know why. This is weird. January 26th obviously has a little bit of juice in it. June's juiced. So these are strange strikes. I don't know why the strikes are behaving this way. Peculiar. But one of the things I was thinking of, and I guess one of the things I've been trying to get a sense of in terms of, hey, how are the institutions playing this? What are they trying to do here? And a lot of this, I guess a thing I haven't factored too heavily into some of my own game is thinking about how to when you can be fairly predictive of the fact that you will gain, because that's the thing. When you're just trying to win, right? When you don't know if you're going to win, you don't have enough experience to know the reliability of your ability to win or something like that, or your ability to be profitable month over month. You don't necessarily allocate too much thought to that type of stuff. You're just like, let me just win first, which makes sense. But there's also this question then of, well, how do I optimize my gains? How do I optimize my returns? And a lot of that is going to come down to also when you're planning for taxes. So, for example, one thing you can do, I don't know if I specifically talked about this on Livestream, but it's something you can do that I'm starting. I've been thinking about it a lot in terms of thought experiments. But it's something like, if you know you're going into a cycle, if you're going into a down cycle, something like that, what you can do is sell. Sell up, right? Let's say you have shares or something like that, and you want to take profits because you think it's going to go back down again. But you don't want to get hit, let's say, for taxes this year. Well, you can sell options, just sell at the money options or in the money options for next year, a couple months out, and then congratulations, you get a credit to play around with, and then you don't have to realize the gain on that trade until the following year. At the same time, you can do the same thing by selling options more than a year out. So if you sell options a year out or a year and a half out or something like that, a year and a couple months, then when you close that trade, regardless of when you entered the trade, when you close it, it will be something that goes down as a long-term capital gain rather than a short-term capital gain. Okay, and you will get you'll get a credit from selling those options, to play around with, right? So your capital is going to be locked up in that trade, let's say, for a year, but you'll lock in a profit if you decide if something happens, or you down cycle and it's like, oh, all right, well, let me close this. Let me go ahead and close this covered call because this went way down, and I'll just realize it because it's good to have a win. But there are things, right? There are things you can do there. So when I see these strikes open, when I see these options open, like way out, this is the type of thing I start to think of. I start to think, okay, what institutions are trying to do tax things here? What institutions are trying to, kick gains? They're trying to lock in gains with certain trades they've made. So they lock in this gain. They lock it in for a particular year. They lock it in for a particular, and then they kick it down the road, essentially. So they're perfectly hedged. They've got their in the money call 2 years out. They know they're getting paid for that. It's with the market maker. They bought shares at 20, and then they sold that in the money call when stock went up to 23 or 24, 25. So they're set there. They've got their profit. They've made their, let's say, 20%, 15%, whatever it is. That's cool. Right? They can lock that in. They take cash out of that trade. Right? Let's say they're running a fund. They got to meet an 11% target. Okay, they got to meet 11% per year or something like that, and then they take their management fee. So you just lock that in. You made the trade. Next 2 years, you're good on that capital, and then you take that premium. You take that premium out. That's what you use to pay yourself, right? You're the fund manager. There you go. There it is. Trade's locked in. Gain is locked in. That's all you need to do. You did your job. However many contracts you sold that with, if it, however many millions you did that with, there you go. There's your paycheck the next 2 years. You just earned it in a single trade. Somebody else is going to contribute something to the fund. Cool. Take that money, rinse, repeat. Something like that, would certainly make sense to me. So that's something that I see coming in there. So something I wouldn't be surprised to see as we move out of earnings, to see institutions kind of take advantage of that a bit going into December OPEX, right? Kind of get that hype there. And then if they move us down, they move us down. And then Q4, I think, is when we're really going to get the big price up. Q4 earnings. that's probably when we're going to get that real price adjustment. And at that point, especially if revenue really really cranks, then I think it's going to be pretty hard to resist the stock. Yeah. That's my spiel that's my pre-earnings spiel for today. I heard there are luxurious men's bathrooms in Cyprus, though. Maybe. I don't know. There are some people in the old town who shit on the sidewalk, but it's nice outside. So does that make it a luxurious men's bathroom? You be the judge. Regarding digital power packs be deployed if we don't get an announcement of worldwide release. That'd be cool. That'd be cool if we get that. The issue, though, is they don't want to do international shipping. That's the issue. That's the problem with worldwide. Yeah. What's up, Samuel? Yeah, we got to see about revenue. Revenue's the thing to look at. Interesting. Calling it die is probably false advertising in Europe. I mean, you could argue it means that you can drink it every day and not feel like a piece of shit. But I don't know. What's up, Seth? Yeah, Bertie seemed very animated about the stock for about a week there. Said he was writing something, then delayed it to sometime in December, thinking he is waiting for earnings before making suggestions. He might. I hope we do see something from him. I think he's another wild card. I think he could play into that, two of them talking meme thing. That's very possible. I think he genuinely recognizes, he has kind of hinted some stuff about GameStop. He did have that, like the CEO compensation formula and stuff as a way to go ahead and how you should be pricing companies. Yeah, let's see what he comes up with. Let's see what he comes up with. What's up, Mr. Theta Bucks? Thank you very much for once again stepping in and being this season's sponsor. We're going to hear your name every day for like a month and a half now. My prediction, Power Packs is a cash cow. Amen. I think so too. So GME drops cash on new inventory, drops our cash floor, so the markets may try and use this as an excuse to give us an even tastier than normal dip. Yeah, that's actually good insight, I think. That's a good idea. That may already have been why they justified the drop down to 1993. If they saw that Cohen took, $500,000 or something and already deployed it on inventory, which maybe. I mean, how much money did they need to fund the lunar packs? Yeah. Of course, because I've said this, now we're going to 28. Wouldn't hate it. Be very fun. Ooh, do I think there would be an offering? I do not. I do not think there will be an offering. That doesn't mean there won't be one. But Ryan Cohen did post a meme. He did post an image with ice cream and sprinkles, which does make me think he's hinting bullish. Does make me think he's hinting bullish. I don't know that he would post that and then dump us. He didn't, say YOLO. He didn't do that. But he did. I'm not sure I would overtly go to that meme thing. I would refer to that and then be the cause of another dump, especially at 23. I don't think Ryan Cohen's offering it at 23.50. That after the last couple offerings were, yeah, way up in the upper 20 set, like 27 something, 29 something. When was the didn't do a Q3 offering? The Q2 offering they did was also, yeah, GameStop was also at, I think that the aggregate price ended up being at 20 something or other. It was under 25, but earnings was released when the stock was 25. So I don't think he's going to do one now. Yeah, Daba 2. What was a scam candle up to $24 today? It's so Ultimator posted. He's been posting about GME having these really very interesting correlations with silver, and silver pumped hard right at the time that GameStop popped to 24. So what seems to be the case is silver started to move. GameStop, because it's swapped with silver, is also moving up or moved up as a result of that. I don't think first off, anybody who ever says this stuff is, oh, fat finger hit the market or whatever. No, it's not, because your orders don't show up. Like, our orders do not show up as prices on charts. It will show up as volume, but you're automatically getting it filled by the mid. You're automatically getting routed. Your order's getting automatically taken by the market maker, the real order. Stuff is, it's not, whoever retail is not tracking on the ticker, right? So that's not, one dude tried to buy 10 shares and then, right? It was like 10 orders. That's the thing. It wasn't a single order that like up one or two share. No, it was 10 different orders. So I think Ultimator has it right there. I think that was tied to the silver appreciation, and then it got shorted back down very quickly, in order to keep the lid on that. Yeah. Warrants being issued would be cool. Like, warrants being issued would be fun. Actually, warrants being issued would be very cool, because I think in that case, if he announced we'd do warrants, I think we would we'd look like we did last semester, last quarter. Hey, Gamma Chat, how's it doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, if we do, let's see. Ooh, did they already? Wow, did you see us? Oh my gosh, did you see us get shorted down right then? They banged the close. Oh my gosh, I got to bring this up. Wait. Did you? They didn't even, the report wasn't even out. Look at this. Whoa. 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 Oh my gosh. What? What is this? Are you kidding me? This is nuts. Whoa. Are y'all seeing this right now? Whoa. All right. Well, it wasn't a nuts beat. It was still a beat. Also, I hate how they lie. They said the analyst consensus was 20 cents, even though I just looked at it this morning and it was 18. Year over year, it's a 300% increase. Sales missed consensus. Slightly down versus last year. Yeah, they're going to punish us for that. Yeah, Bitcoin valued down. Oh, I hate these guys so much. GameStop shares are trading lower after the company reported Q3 sales that missed expectations. Oh my gosh. If you didn't think it were possible to hate these people enough. Yep, that sales down. They just look for the bad so they can slam it. Brutal. Let's see what else we got. Let's bring up this earnings report. EPS, they said it was 24. They just said it was 24. It's still not showing up. in their on investor relations. Does anybody have it? Yeah, it's still a beat. It's still an EPS beat. Yeah. Slammed. Let's see. So sales slightly down versus last year. Operating income. So 41 million operating income. Excluded impairment. Adjusted operating income. 52 million for the period compared to operating loss. Net income 77 million compared to net income of 17 million. So income up, very good. Cash equivalent, marketable securities 8.8 billion. Bitcoin holdings 519 million. So that's down a bit from where they were. Gross profit, expenses down, asset impairments, operating income much better. Yeah, basic income per share is 17. Let's see, do we have anything from Power Packs? This is the previous year. We gotta get rid of Australia and Europe, I guess. Here's 9 months. Operating income on the year is 153.3. They have what? Close to 900 million in assets, digital assets. Flow statement. Here we go. Sales mix. Okay. Hardware, new and pre-owned hardware, accessories, hardware bundles, hardware, digital, physical software, SKU, interactive game figure, strategy guides, mobile consumer electronics. Sales of new and pre-owned video game software is going to be under software. Sales of apparel, toys, trading cards, gadgets. All right, so collectibles. Yeah, collectibles income is up quite a bit. It's a much larger percentage of the total. Yeah, it's very big compared to the total for the year. It's over a third of the total collectibles income on the year. So it's bigger than it shows growth. I'm not sure how much is it bigger than quarter two? I don't know. Let's see, what are we doing? Oof. 2170. How about that? Did you think we'd be back this quickly? How big was our what was the revenue expectation? If we're going to get warrants, they would be announced. Did he wait a day? No, they were announced at the same time. Yeah, it already started dipping before the report was out. Yep. Expectation was 987 million. Yeah, free cash flow of 410 million is very good. Yeah, man, if they were short, good job. Missed. That's the thing. GameStop's falling, revenue slips. Oh my gosh. That's very interesting. That's what we thought. Deployed some of that capital, but it should have been just treasuries. Unless it wasn't and they're about to surprise. Let's see. That's a lot. That's a massive improvement to go from free cash flow being down 29 21 2 on the year for 2024 to being free cash flow being 410 million. That's very interesting. This is yeah, so that's different. They usually is a treasury considered a cash equivalent. I think it's usually considered a cash equivalent. Yes. So Ryan Cohen bought something. Ryan Cohen put $1 billion into something. And it's not Bitcoin. It's not T-bills. Yeah, Ryan Cohen bought something. Ryan Cohen definitely bought something. That's also why we dipped. All right. That's why we dipped. Now we know. So these guys all suck because they I don't know, they commit industrial espionage or something and they figure this stuff out. Whatever. I guess if Ryan Cohen's deploying $1 billion in company money somewhere, somebody finds out, it leaks. So my guess is this was leaked around the time of the Trump tweet. Somebody found out about this around the time of the Trump tweet. And then once it was learned that this cash was deployed, they shorted the stock. Yeah, they priced the stock down. Yep. All right. So Cohen deployed the money. Oh no, I hope he didn't buy Atari. Well, maybe he did if they're gonna launch the physical collectibles and they're gonna grade consoles and stuff like that. Like maybe. But I don't know. The market's not gonna like that. Not gonna like Atari. NADOC says some constructive criticism here, not based in the States, but what I've noticed is that many GameStop employees come across poorly. There are tons of YouTube videos where people try harmless pranks. And the staff can't take a light joke. Really needs to change. Staff to come across as overly defensive, as if they feel immediately threatened. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who they got. I'm not sure who they got hired here. Yeah. Pull their own VW squeeze. They bought options contracts on themselves. Yeah. That's a good question. He should disclose. He should have to disclose what that is. Like now, I think. I mean, somebody already knows what it is. Unless there's some law preventing him from disclosing. He has to make a statement, though. Yep, but there you go. Okay, so we transpose down $2. Maybe if there's a big reveal there, we go back up. No, they should. The T-bills, see, this is the thing. The cash is supposed to be in T-bills anyway. So cash is going to go down as a cash equivalent, or T-bills are going to go down as a cash equivalent. They're not going to. They're not going to put down because they're not just having the cash sit as cash. They're investing the T-bills in, or they're investing their cash in T-bills anyway, which is going to go down as a cash equivalent. Marketable securities is something else. If they don't say anything about it, then maybe I just I'm not used to reading the. But I don't know. I don't remember them doing that in previous earnings reports. Like if we go back, let's see. For example, let's see second quarter. Yeah. Look, that's different. See, they didn't buy any T-bills for the whole quarter, and then they left the rest of the stuff out of it. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Brian Cohen deployed the capital. That's why we went down. Let's see. Do we have Q1? Yeah, see? They didn't disclose it in previous quarters. Ryan Cohen bought something for $1 billion. No, this is what I'm saying. They do this on a rolling basis anyway. That's going under cash equivalents. Previous earnings statements do not mention the purchase of marketable securities. They just went 3 quarters without purchasing them. That's impossible because they had investment income from T-bills. But they didn't declare those as marketable securities purchases. This is very interesting. Yeah. So Seth asked a good question. He says, could you explain why we would go down so dramatically if Ryan deployed the capital? I always understood the purchaser takes a short-term hit, but not why. Because someone knows that the capital is deployed, but they don't know where. So the idea is they can account, like the market can account for the fact that information is already circulating. So they can already account for the fact that the cash is no longer on the books. So that's number one. So that's no longer priced in. But they have no idea what's been purchased. They don't know what the asset is, let's say. They know it's somehow it's been there, but they don't know what the asset is. So it's like they've taken the cash away because it's no longer there, I guess. But they don't know what's been purchased, so they don't add the value back as something else. I don't know. All right, let's see 10Q. Where is it? Under SEC filings? Yes. Yeah, they bought something. They definitely bought something. See? That's a billion. That's a billion. And it lost value. Interesting. They purchased. Listen, look. Ryan Cohen deployed 1.05 billion, and its current value is 986.9 million. So he's deployed that as an investment, and it's lost value. That's not T-bills. That's not T-bills. That's not T-bills if it's down like that. Did they say what it is here? See, these are proceeds. This is interest from stuff that I already have. See, it's down, which is, yeah, he deployed $1 billion. Here we go. Time deposits. So unless it's something that has an excess of 90 days, but why did it go down? Hmm. So we don't have specifics. That'd be funny. That'd be funny. Yeah. Huh. If it's not, you would expect them. Like if the deployment is if it's not treasuries, you would expect. Yeah, you would expect them to say something about it. Oh, that's fun. 4,000, 4,422 warrants were exercised. Nice. No, the 87.2 million from maturities and sales is from short-term treasuries they had. I guess it could be he redeemed some. It was money market, and now it's T-bills. That would explain something. Well, we gonna recover a little bit, or just we gonna hang out now at 22? Maybe insider buys now. Oh, are there more hit pieces now? Let's see what the interwebs is doing. This was me. Oh, where'd you see that? Collectibles, the only bright spot. Oh, there it is. Stripping out certain one-time items, adjusted per share earnings 24 cents. Oh, I was right. Collectibles up 50%. Yeah, that's somewhat strange. No, because he still, yeah, that's weird. They still said, you're right. It might be treasuries because it's like they still said it was, they had 8.8 billion in cash and cash equivalents, but they still call like a billion of it marketable securities. But why didn't they do that? I guess it's just because it's a longer term treasury bill. Yeah. Let's see. Guys, do we go back to $19 now? That'd be very lame. Yeah, it might be. It might be the treasuries. Well, that is not as exciting as quarter two, huh? But that's the way it goes, right? That's the way it goes. If they don't, if GameStop doesn't nail absolutely everything, right? Down she goes. That's the thing. It's still going to be, hey, quarter four is still where we're going to have our focus. I mean, that's the thing to really look at. I mean, it's going to be an improvement year over year. But yeah, I guess, collectibles is still up, which is where I guess some of that Power Packs beta revenue is going. But I'm thinking maybe the revenue stuff that we've been seeing, right? Because when did Q3 end? I want to say Q3 ended for GameStop in October. So there should have been some Power Packs revenue in there, but maybe not enough to really move it. But November, December, January is going to be the other Power Packs revenue. So we will see. We will see. Good luck out there, guys. I hope you not necessarily you don't win them all. I guess you don't grand slam every earnings, but I mean lots of good things. EPS still up, company still profitable. Free cash flow up to 410 million, which is good to see. But yeah, we'll have to see where we go from here, folks. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens in during the trading day, huh? So, all right, everybody, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see what happens overnight too. So, thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. We'll see you soon.